All right, Phase 5 is officially done, so we're going to rank it. This is my personal list based on how I felt about every project, so let me know yours in the comments if you agree with me, or if you think it should have been a little bit different, which is what I'm assuming people are going to comment. But let's go ahead, not waste any time, dive in. I've counted 16 different ones. Well, 16 and a half, I think, but we'll get into that. Starting at 16... What If Season 3, and I might as well just throw out that 15 is What If Season 2 for me as well. Now, if you've been following the channel, you might know I'm not the biggest animation fan, and the fact that What If Season 3 and What If Season 2 don't connect to the MCU kind of also threw it off for me, so I never really cared too much for What If. The first one was pretty good, the second one declined in value, and the third one I feel like really declined in value as far as like the stories that we were given. But at the same time, the ending of season 3 was pretty cool. And I hope that sets something up for something in the multiverse coming in the future for the MCU. We'll have to wait and see on that. But moving on to number 14. With what ifs aside, this might be kind of a normal ranking for someone, for most people, I think. Secret Invasion. When I saw the first 2 episodes, because I got the screeners for them, I thought the series was going to be fantastic. I really did. I feel like the espionage type of filming and story for the first 2 were going to be really, really good. But, and they were good for the first 2, but from there it was just like, we went downhill. I don't know how you take a look at one of the biggest events in comic history for Marvel, Secret Invasion, and you give us what we got on Disney Plus. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, how Feige let that happen. I don't know. They probably should have just taken the L on this and never released it, but hey, that's just my personal opinion. So it was so bad that number 13, I put Echo above it. And it's not even that I thought Echo was like super bad. It was just kind of underwhelming for me. I do like kind of the premise of her character. I do like how they tied it in with Kingpin. I like that whole story. But unfortunately, I just wasn't really pulled into it that much, and I didn't find it that entertaining. 12. This is another animated one, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. What's interesting is I actually found this a little bit more entertaining than Echo, because it's Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man's cool. The whole opening of it was pretty cool. Norman Osborn being his mentor is pretty cool. Harry, being his friend, all that. Like, there's a lot of places they could go with it to where it did kind of intrigued me, and there were some pretty cool scenes. And again, I'm not the biggest animation fan, but despite it being animated, I actually thought it was pretty cool. So I put it at number 12 above Echo, but I put it below number 11, which is Ironheart. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of mixed opinions on Ironheart right now. Like, there's a lot of mixed opinions about it. Unfortunately for me, I was pretty bored throughout most of it. It does pick up episode 4. There's some cool Strange references and stuff like that. And I think her name is Zelma. She's pretty cool. I actually liked her character. I would like to know more about her. But to me, it was like, Riri acted like she had nothing, but she had a full ride to MIT. She had grant money. She literally built a suit. Like, it was pretty much finished. It didn't work when she took off with it and left it. But she was almost there. Like, she had it made pretty well, and she herself got in trouble, and that's why she got kicked out of all these schools in MIT. Like, she caused her own problem, then decided to be a criminal. That is actually what she decided to do. Even after the Hood shot somebody, she continued to do things with that group. And then at the very end, and if you haven't seen the ending yet and you don't know about that character, mute this video for like 15 seconds starting now. At the end, Mephisto was the best part. He was the best part of a show that wasn't about him. He was in it for probably like 10 minutes. He was the best part. And Ironheart chose to make a deal with him at the end, making her more of a villain. She just followed in the Hood's footsteps. So to me, I don't know. I didn't really like the show that much, but so it sits at number 11. 10.5. I don't know if we count this one, but I Am Groot. Enjoyable, not really like a full series, so I don't even know if we count it, but it's pretty enjoyable in like a playful type of way. Not something I really take serious, but it was a fun time. At least it was entertaining, at least. And that brings us to number 10, The Marvels. This might be a lot lower on some people's list, and don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a good movie, but there are some enjoyable parts of this movie, mostly having to do with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. I think she was the highlight of this movie for a lot of people. They did tone back Carol Danvers a little bit from the first one and from like Avengers Endgame. She was a little bit more likable, but unfortunately a lot of what people didn't like about the character was still kind of there. They tried to soften her up a little bit. And I think I don't know, the story was not very good. I think if they took more time is what I was going to say. I think if they took more time about this and thought about just a different story that they could tell, it would have been better. And I think with those characters, it had the potential to be really fun. And it was kind of a fun movie. It had some fun moments, and I don't know, the storytelling killed it for me. It had a pretty cool post-credit scene, and I consider that a big plus for it as well. But for me, it's number 10. Number 9, and this is a bummer for me, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's such a bummer for me because I think about Kang. The Jonathan Majors situation, despite what you think about him, I think he's a fantastic actor. And I think he played Kang and He Who Remains and Victor Timely incredibly well. Like, incredibly well. And I was so excited for Kang that that Quantumania, having him being defeated by ants was such a disappointment to me. And then now watching Quantumania again, knowing he's like Kang is just not there anymore. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom now as the main villain. It's a pretty big bummer. But it was also a pretty big bummer that the movie wasn't that good. They tried to do a lot with it where they should have just really focused on Ant-Man, kept him the main character, whereas they tried to make like everyone the main character of this. They focused on way too many people. It should have just been Ant-Man. He's Ant-Man, right? I mean, I guess Hank Pym as well, but he's Ant-Man, and it should have been just a much better fight with Kang, and Kang shouldn't really have been defeated. They should have, like, I don't know, he shouldn't have been defeated by ants, at least, is what I'll say. But that's the decision they went with. Hey, we're introducing our big bad for the first time. He's so big, he's so bad, but he can be defeated by ants. Such a bummer. And then that post-credit scene was like one of the coolest things like that I've seen in Phase 5. That was like one of the coolest things. I was so stoked when we saw the Council of the Kangs, Immortus, Ramatat, Scarlet Centurion. I thought that was so cool. But now I'm like, well, nothing's going to happen. So ultimate bummer. Really, really is. But that sits at number 9. Number 8 for me, Captain America: Brave New World. This movie is a good movie. It's not a great movie, but it's a good movie. But it had the potential to be great. You watch this and you can tell that it's really chopped up, that they changed the story, Serpent Society, everything like that. Like, you can tell, right? And some of the CGI is legitimately bad. Like, my brother at one point in time looked at me where it was like a part at the end where the leader's about to turn himself in. He's like, what is that? You could really tell. It's very bad. It's one part. There's a few other iffy parts, but overall, I think the movie's actually pretty good. If they would have solidified the story a little bit earlier and didn't have to do so much changes, we probably could have gotten a B+ movie, A movie out of this. I think Sam Wilson does a great job. I think Anthony Mackie does a great job as playing Sam Wilson, as playing a new Captain America. They should have set him up more, though, to be the new leader of the new Avengers team. They kind of did that in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, but they should have done it more in Captain America: Brave New World. Overall, I enjoyed the movie, wished it was a little bit better, because I know it could have been due to all of the changes they made to it. But moving on. So these next two, you're going to hate me for this, but they tie. They tie for 6 and 7. And I'm actually really surprised that they tied. Daredevil Born Again and Agatha All Along. And the reason that they tied is because although I loved Daredevil Born Again, I really did, the ending was very anticlimactic to me. It was very anticlimactic. I mean, you know, I wanted more from the final episode, because now it's like Daredevil Born Again season 2, that is just basically continuing the same story. Whereas Agatha, I thought it started off pretty boring, but it ended really well. And yes, there is a new story happening now with Agatha as a ghost going along with Billy to find Tommy, but they did end the Witch's Road story, the Agatha story. They told us what happened to her child. They told us what happened with Death. She had the fight with Death. She died. The whole thing got wrapped up, and now we're moving on to a different story. With Daredevil Born Again, they didn't wrap up the first part of the story. They ended on a cliffhanger and then we're going to have to wait to finish the rest of the story. But the cliffhanger to me was anticlimactic because it, like, we had the Kingpin squishing the guy's face and the Punisher scene, but Daredevil didn't really do anything there at the end. He's like, oh, I got to get the team. And I was like, cool, go get the team, start fighting, start a war. But we just, that's not what happened. So they're tied for me. Agatha all along was an unexpected welcome surprise. I really did love that show, but I really loved Daredevil Born Again up until the anticlimactic ending. So they're kind of tied at 6 and 7 for me. Just because of the really awesome action, Daredevil Born Again, probably just like a tiny bit above. But I mean, they're pretty much the same for me, 6 and 7. But let me know your thoughts about that. Number 5, X-Men 97. Ooh, I mean, this made me nervous before it came out because part of my love for Marvel comes from the original X-Men animated series. Like, I watched it as a kid. I remember watching it like with my dad. Like, it was like a defining moment. It was probably one of the biggest defining moments in my life. Like, that would set me on a course to exactly where I am right now, talking about this every day with other people who love this. I was so nervous, but when it came out, they crushed it, man. They crushed it. It was crazy good. Like, oh my gosh, don't even get me started about the story with Gambit and the Sentinels. And oh my gosh, it was crazy good. And now, although there's been some drama, some conflict with the writers and everything like that, I'm genuinely excited for X-Men 97 season 2, and it's an animated show. And I know it's it's contradictory in what I said before about the animated thing, but I have such a connection to this already because of my childhood, because of the nostalgia that it gives me, that I was really excited for it. I was hoping it wouldn't be bad, hoping it wouldn't be like the other animated shows, and it wasn't. To me, it's super entertaining. You're super invested in these characters, and it's a freaking X-Men, So overall, yeah, I really loved it. Number 4, some people might rank this specific one differently, but for me, I have Guardians of the Galaxy, number 3, volume 3, at number 4. And the reason I have that is because, one, I do think it's a great movie. I do. It's written very well. The story is really, really good. It's funny. It's very much a James Gunn Guardians film, which is, I don't know, to me, it just doesn't miss, right? It's a great movie. But some of you might know what I'm about to say. If you know me, I do not like half android, half human, or half cyborg, half human beings, right? Like, I just don't like to watch it. It like makes my skin crawl. And there's a lot of that in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fortunately, the story is really, really good, so I was super into the movie, obviously, and the action's amazing, and the music's always amazing, like the score's fantastic. It's just a great movie overall. Some people might put it at the very, very, very top, but for me, it's number 4, which is still really high. Number 3 for me, the Thunderbolts. I was really surprised with this movie in a really good way. It did feel like old school Marvel. The only thing that I could really say about this movie is that I wish when the Thunderbolts were fighting Sentry in the Watchtower, that scene was longer, because that was peak MCU to me. Him in his golden Sentry outfit, they dyed his hair blonde. He fights them. It's an incredible fight scene. And the fighting in the movie overall is pretty good. When they're in the vault, when they're in the desert and Bucky comes, like, it's all really, really good. And it does have a really strong and relatable message, I would say, as well. I did enjoy the ending, but I wish there was more of the actual Sentry, not the Void, but the actual Sentry fighting the Thunderbolts or fighting other people, because that was like amazing. And I get it. It's like, how long can you possibly do that? Because he clearly is just like unstoppable at that point, but it was pretty dang cool to see. So that gets number 3 for me. Number 2 for me, this was hard. Choosing between number 2 and number 1 was so hard. And even as I'm about to say it right now, I'm still like, oh, is this what I want to say? But I will. Number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. I love this movie. It was pretty much exactly what I wanted. It was action-packed. It was hilarious. It was entertaining as hell. It had some cameos. It had fan service. And I've said before, I'll say it again. I'm a fan. Service me. I love the fan service if done right. But I mean, I watched this again recently, and it was probably my 7th, 8th time watching it. I'm getting close to 10 times watching it, but I watched it again recently. All the jokes still hit for me. They're also really funny to me. You know, I don't think anything really missed. The only thing I will say, I mean, I can't really say anything bad about it. I was going to say I just wanted more Deadpool and Wolverine fighting. I wish we could have gotten like one more scene because I loved it so much. But I mean, like, I still remember the first time I watched it, and you watch Elektra come out, and then you see freaking Wesley Snipes come out around that corner, and then freaking Channing Tatum, X-23, that whole scene, Chris Evans, Human Torch, Flame On. I mean, the movie's fantastic. The movie's great. It truly is amazing. And I'm still, what, like, is this 2? Is it tied with 1? Is it 1? I don't know. But number 1 for me is Loki season 2. And I think it has to do with the journey that we've all been on, if you've been following since the very beginning, with Loki. We've been on a legitimately amazing journey with Loki. I mean, it's been incredible so far to see him as a villain in Thor, to see him as the villain of the first Avengers movie, to see his growth throughout time with Thor. Then we get a different variant, and to see his growth now. And now he's the savior of the multiverse, basically, and going to play. It's flipped now. He's now the hero trying to save the universe and the multiverse in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, whereas before he was trying to rule over it, making people bow to him. Now he keeps it alive. So it's actually kind of crazy, the story that we've seen with him. And then he's going to fight Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. It's completely flipped. It's kind of crazy to think about. But I mean, Loki season 2 to me, again, it's kind of a bummer right now because of the whole Kang situation, He Who Remains, Victor Timely. But even like that twist at the end was fantastic. Like, reincarnation, baby. And Loki goes back decades or centuries, and he figures out how to control time. The whole story with him and Sylvie, Ki Hoi Kwan's character, Ouroboros, Mobius. This show's fantastic. And each episode, you're on the edge of your seat. You're super intrigued. You don't know what's going to happen. They did some twists, like, you know, Victor Timely runs out, he dies, he gets spaghettified, and just the emotion of it all as well. It's deep. It's really, really deep. And I think that's why I actually placed it at number 1, just because how just really deep and connected at the time to what was supposed to happen overall to the multiverse. And it still holds true because Loki is still holding the multiverse together, and they're just going to kind of move Kang and He Who Remains out of the way, which is a bummer, but it all still holds up for what they're planning for Doomsday and Secret Wars. So overall, I was just like, Loki season 1 and Loki season 2 are like my favorite because I think they're so well written and so well done visually, and the acting from everybody, it just, everything ties together just like really, really perfectly. It's very serious, but it has a lot of really funny moments, and it's very impactful to the MCU as well. So that is my list. I believe it was 16 and a half because I did a 10.5 with I Am Groot, but that's my list. I would love to hear yours, and I'm super excited for phase 6. I think we're about to enter, fingers crossed, hopefully, I think we're about to enter just like an incredible time, possibly the best time in the MCU if Marvel can pull this off. Yes, the buildup hasn't been the same as the Infinity Saga, but what we're about to witness in phase 6 could just be mind-blowing. But let me know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts about my phase 5 list. What would be yours? Let us know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Woof woof.